Good morning, warrior. I get the question all the time, how much is strength can I reasonably expect to get on a lean bulk cycle? So that's the question we're going to go over today. And if you've got that question going on, we're going to answer, if you don't know what a lean bulk cycle is or anything like that, lean building, lean gain phase. That's what I like to call it, lean gaining. But we're going to go over that today. It's a really good question, and it's going to cover a lot of topics today. So apologize for the really crappy lighting. It's a cloudy day. I'm in the sunroom / man cave, and which is all windows, and today is all cloudy. So I got some pretty crappy lighting, so I apologize. I'm all dark in the face, so could possibly be the worst video ever made. So strength on a lean gaining phase. Lean gaining. All right, so this is great because it's a question that it comes up when you're in phase 2. Phase 1 is, so let's say you start off with some weight to lose. Let's say 50 pounds to lose. Phase 1 is what's called the quest. And you start off wanting to accomplish something, to do something. Just like they do in the movies, to defeat the bad guy, to throw the ring into the fire pits of Mordor, to destroy the Death Star, to take down the evil the evil emperor / king or something like that. So you start off with the quest. And for us guys, let's just take it looks based. You start off for me I was a chubby hubby, and my quest was to be a hot hubby. Chubby hubby to hot hubby. Oh, this is Coach Bill here, ForYourResults.com, where I help husbands lose weight, gain muscle, and look good naked. Never mind. Something else to add, but I didn't want to get distracted. So, chubby hubby to hobby. So 50 pounds, to put about a good number is, a transformation is 20 pounds of muscle. So 20 pounds, and then about circa 10% body fat. Why 10%? Because that's where you can see abs. That's where I was going to mention, I help husbands lose weight, gain muscle, get abs. Have their abs. So once you're here, that's kind of the goal. Strength is sort of important in there. It's not the end-all be-all. You kind of work it in. But in the quest, you basically do that. We're not going to go into how much to do that, what to do with that. If you're curious about how to go about doing that, which is what I've done, is go to hothusbandtransformation.com, and where I have a free case study report for you. My entire journey from chubby hubby to hot hubby, that every step I took, every meal plan I did, every workout I did, every supplement I took, to go from losing 65 pounds of fat, putting on 20 pounds of muscle, and all the mistakes I made along the way, all the secrets that I did, all the tricks that I did along the way. It's a free report. It's about 100 pages or so, the report, but 70 of them are pictures. So you'll see what I mean when you're there. So go there, put in your email, have at her. So if you're curious about that. So, all right, so when you're there, then what? You can maintain that if you want. Let's say you're down to your ideal weight. But what you want to do is you want to go on, it's called a lean gaining cycle. So the maximum of muscle that a male can put on is about 40 to 50 pounds. So I'm going to be giving you some generalities here, some broad picture overview. And just so you know, everybody's a little different. Every person's DNA is a little different, genetics is a little different, lifestyle is a little different, how they respond to workouts. So I'm going to give you some generalities, and then after that, you kind of you customize it to you. Does that make sense? So you got people that have a body that just loves working strength. You have some people's body that loves working the hypertrophy range. And so the gains that you would get depends heavily on where you are. But anyway, so 40-50 pounds, this is kind of for most people, of max muscle. So you're about halfway there with the quest journey. So phase 2 starts off what's called the apex predator approach. And basically, you just gotta do things, you gotta up the intensity, you gotta do things different. What got you here won't get you to this point. And what you do at this point, to summarize, Cliff Notes version, is you go on a lean gain phase. So you maintain this 10% body fat, and then you slowly put on mass, and then if you start losing the abs, then you go on a micro cut phase. So you go lean gaining, a mass building program, your body, and then you just kind of go off and on like that, boom, boom, boom. This is about, oh, not too bad of a glare, huh? This is about 2-3 months, and this could be 1 to 2 months, however you want to do it. So, quick story here. I did my very first bodybuilding show, and I was very lean. I was like 3%, 4% body fat, and I was natural doing it. I was only about 25 pounds of muscle on me, and I think my weigh-in was like 155. No, I weighed in at 157, but I was in the middleweight. I think they call it welterweight, which is the 165. And so there was people that weighed in at 165. That 7 pounds made a huge difference to those on stage. It wasn't a natural show, so I was competing against guys that were using steroids. But I was like really lean, really muscle definition, all that action. Afterwards, I think it placed pretty good in that show. I think it was like 6 out of like 30 guys or something like that. So I didn't do too bad for my very first show. I got back home and I talked to one of my mentors that won, like Mr. Wisconsin, won a whole bunch of bodybuilding shows, and he says, you just don't have the mass to compete against those guys. You're very lean, but those guys are on stage with 30, 40 plus pounds of muscle, and you've got about 20. So you need to lift heavy, you need to eat like a horse, you need to like build up for an entire year, and then lean down. So instead of doing that, so his strategy was for like 7-8 months, lift heavy, eat like a horse. Lift heavy, eat like a horse. Put on a whole bunch of mass, put on a whole bunch of weight, and then for like 4 months, cut it down. Maintain what you got as far as the gains, and then cut it down. You don't have to do that over the long course. You can just do that nice and short. So when you're in this phase now, this is when you're lean gaining. And how much strength is reasonable to assume? Basically strength comes from your weight gain, because as your weight goes up, but you want to maintain your lean body fat. It's about 1.5 to 1% of your own body weight as far as mass, as far as weight putting on per month. And that's like if you eat somewhere in the ballpark of 500 to extra calories a day. Okay. If you watch my previous videos, just know that like I'm right at the end of a 4-week interesting experiment that I talked to you about, where I was upped all my sets and all my lifts. Normally you want to do about 15 sets for all your body parts, and I was up to about 24, and then I ate 1,000 calories of, 1,000 grams of carbs a day. I ate like 1,500 extra calories a day per day going up. My weight started off in 1 month, it started off at 171, and right now it's about 177. So what's that, 6.5 pounds? And I started off at about 8% body fat, and I went up to about 10% now. So what that means is I put on 6.5 pounds. So I've been lean gaining mostly for the last month, and I put on probably about half of this. So I'd say about 3 pounds of this is fat, and the other like 3-ish pounds is muscle. So I'm way overboard with that 1%, because I'm about what's that? 1% of 177 is 1.7, right? So I'm just about a pound over that thing. So pushing it to the limit. So not doing too bad, to be honest with you. So that's the phase I'm in right now. This is reasonable to do. So now that specific question of strength gaining, gets the answer, what's the difference between lifting for strength and lifting for for hypertrophy. 1 to 6 reps, 1 to 5, 6 to 20 reps is hypertrophy. What a lot of people do is they start off wanting to lift heavy. So going back to that advice that the mentor gave me, just lift heavy, lift heavy, lift heavy. If you just strict to lift heavy, if you just did like 2 reps, 3 reps, 2 reps, 3 reps, you got to do like 15 sets total to compile enough time under tension. It's all about the stimulus. It's all about like, rather than it's not so much sets or reps, it's like by the end of the day, how much of that strength, that muscle was under duress? Was it like compressed? Was it pushed down? Because that's when it like breaks apart. And if it's been used to a whole bunch already, then you gotta go from there. What works, according to the literature, according to the data, is hypertrophy first. When you build up your hypertrophy, that gives you the opportunity to express strength. Okay? It's like getting you to the finish line and then the strength busts it home. So how does that look played out into a workout type format? Have, like, I like the periodizing your workouts each week. So like when you're in this apex predator approach, the data supports, the research supports, rather than like 1 rep range every week, like 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, you split that up. So week 1, you shoot for 12 reps. Week 2, you shoot for 8 reps. Week 3, you shoot for like 5 to 6 reps. So that way you just boom, boom, boom. And then you cycle through that again. Okay? It's called periodization, undulating. I think I keep wanting to check that. I keep forgetting. You want to check that. So what's cool, so here, let's just take this for example. Here you're sitting in the hypertrophy range. Does that make sense? And then you express that strength through here. Works really, really good doing it that way. And then you go there. Because this allows you enough time under tension to break that muscle apart. So it's almost like what's that fruit? Peach. This is the let's say you wanted to get to that seed center. So this is like you eating through that peach to get to that seed center, which allows you there. Cool? The reason we do that as well is the strength muscles. There's like Olympians and everything like that and power lifters that do nothing but live in the strength. And that's fine. They pile up enough time under tension. I don't know about you, but I don't have all day to lift in the gym. I don't have 30 hours a week to work out. If you do that. If you've ever seen the strength, the other problem with strength is you need to increase your recovery time on that when you're continuing doing strength. They just take longer. Those muscle fibers take longer to recover. Now, going back to what I talked to you at the beginning. This is very individualized. This is very generalized, I'm telling you about. You got to kind of customize this to you. Some people, that might not be the case. Okay, you basically take this stuff and you apply it to your life and you kind of see what works. You're like, oh, okay, I get what he's saying there. All right, so as far as strength comes from this extra mass you're putting on. So it's expressing itself through here. So as far as the strength to put on, I don't know, do you want like a percentage number or what's that look like to you? Let's take the gains part. It works out to about 5 pounds. 5 to 10 pounds. For me, so I'm just going to share with you what's been working for me. It's been about 5 to 10 pounds every 3 weeks. So I'll do this 12-8-6 stuff around that, not that precisely. And then these are all the main lifts. And then next week goes by, I add 5 pounds to whatever. Let's say I was benching 135 times 12, 155 times 8, 175 times 6. Week 2, the next block, I'll add 5 pounds to that. 160, 185. And then you shoot for the same amount of reps. You with me? You with me so far? So that's how that looks on that front. Or it's usually like 1 or 2 extra reps every training block, every training cycle. So that's every 3 weeks. You can almost spread that out to a month. Kind of do what works for you. You can even like do this and then do that for 3 weeks and then just have a rest week. And then start it all over again. Let it recover. And then it's every month-to-month kind of cycle. And then when you are putting on mass, okay, when you're doing this lean gain stuff, a number to actually kind of keep in mind is about half of it's going to be about fat and the other half's going to be muscle. And you just kind of live with that. You can get like super picky with the calories and everything like that. You can keep the 8%, but in order for a lot of those hormones to make this extra mass resides in your fat cells. And then your body needs that signal of a surplus of calories. That gives it the okay. It's one of the signals of mass building. Of, hey, it's okay, let me put on some mass, Your body's very, very concerned about starvation. So if you're like doing a whole bunch of workouts and your body needs those calories to repair for the workouts, but you're not giving it to it, the body's going to shut down this gaining part. Because it's like, I don't have enough calories to do that. So you're just going to like the same weights, the same plateaus week in, week out. And it's just being patient. I was on a website last week and it said how to gain 40 pounds in like 5 weeks. I'm like, what? 40 pounds? That's the most a male human, even if they were on steroids, in order to make. So I'm like, holy cow. So the other question is strength gain is a number to keep in mind. So it's just to summarize that point. It's just being realistic, being expectating, and just know you got a lifetime of doing this. Like there's no like rush. Your body's gonna respond to it week in, week out. As far as strengths, the first goal is what I call a 3-plate club. 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 plate on. These are the big 3 lifts. Like you show up on a football game, and your wins and loss records, how you compete against that team every week. That's like your competition. That's how you know if you're getting better or not. For us humans, for us males, husbands, working out, this is like our thing to shoot for. 1, 2, 3. So 1 is 1 plate on the bench press, 2 plates on the squat, 3 plates on the deadlift. So that's your first like mountain to climb, if you will. 1, 2, 3. Next phase, you just up that 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And this is again 2 plates on the bench press, 225, squat 315, and deadlift 405. That's your goal there. And then after that, you up that again. 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of weight. I think you can do it though. And you just you work those into your lifts every week. Boom, boom, boom. And that's your 1 rep max on those. You don't have to do 1 rep. But you can do the 1, 2, 3, the 3-plate club. That you can do in the first phase, the quest phase. It takes about 1 to 2 years doing that. So that occupies that. So we covered a lot today, Warrior. Proud of you. You did good today. We talked about how much weight can you expect to make on your lean gaining phase, how much strength, and then with that strength is the mass as well. So covered it all. Look forward to hearing how it goes for you. We'll catch you later in the next one.